What up, homies? Welcome back, Conspiracy University. All right, I want to talk about a little bit. I guess you could say our U.S. taxpayer money, right? Let's see a little bit of where some of our tax money went, right? Our tax dollars, how the government is using our tax dollars, and what it led to. All right. So right here, excuse me. As you can see on the article I have here on the screen from Al Jazeera, U.S. trained cartel terrorizes Mexico. Founders of the Zetas drug gang learned special forces techniques at Fort Bragg before waging a campaign of carnage. It was a brutal massacre, even by the gruesome standards of Mexico's drug war. 72 migrant workers gunned down by the Zetas, arguably the country's most violent cartel, and left rotting in a pile outside a ranch in Tamaulipas state near the U.S. border in late August. The Zetas have a fearsome reputation, but the real surprise comes not in their ruthless use of violence, but in the origins of where they learned the tricks of their bloody trade. Some of the cartel's initial members were elite Mexican troops. Okay, they say some, okay, but no, all right, we ain't having that. It's not some, it's not some, all right. All of the members. Let me finish reading this. Some of the cartel's initial members were elite Mexican troops trained in the early 1990s by America's 7th Special Forces Group, or Snake Eaters, at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and former U.S. Special Operations Commander has told Al Jazeera. They were given map reading courses, communications, standard special forces training, light to heavy weapons, machine guns, and automatic weapons, says Craig Deere, the former Special Forces commander who is now a professor at the U.S. National Defense University. I had some visibility on what was happening because this issue was related to things I was doing in the Pentagon in the 90s. Deere, who also served as county director in the office of the U.S. Secretary of Defense, says the Mexican personnel who received U.S. training and later formed the Zetas came to the Air Mobile Special Forces Group, which is considered an elite division of the Mexican military. Their U.S. training was designed to prepare them for counterinsurgency and, ironically, counter narcotics operations. Although Deere says they were not taught the most advanced commando techniques available at Fort Bragg, military forces from around the world train at Fort Bragg, so there is nothing unique about Mexican operatives learning counterinsurgency tactics at the facility. However, critics say specific skills learned by the Zetas primed them for careers as contract killers and drug dealers. The Zetas definitely have the reputation of being the most dangerous, the most vicious, the most renegade of the cartel, says Christian Bricker, a Mexico based research associate with the North American Congress on Latin America. About 29,000 people have died since Felipe Calderon, Mexico's president, declared war on the drug cartels in 2006. I mean, this was an article came out in 2010. I can almost guarantee you that number is more than doubled. The group has mounted the severed heads of its victims on pikes in urban areas, posted torture and execution videos on the internet, forced poor migrants into prostitution, and massacred college students during house parties. Other cartels have accused them of not following the gentleman's code of drug trafficking and causing undue violence, Bricker told Al Jazeera. At one time, it was considered bad form to kill pregnant women, but not anymore. For safety concerns, Bricker didn't want to say where she lives in Mexico. Deere estimates probably more than 500 GAF personnel received special forces training. He is unsure exactly how long the program lasted. The Zetas came to the attention of Mexico's Attorney General's office in 1999. After U.S. training, GAF operations defected from the Mexican military to become hired guns, providing security to the Gulf Cartel, a well-established trafficking organization, according to Laura Carlson, director of the Americas program of the International Relations Center. They split from the Gulf Cartel and formed as a cartel in their own right, Carlson, based in Mexico City, told Al Jazeera. The Zetas, alleged current leaders, Gilberto Lascano, known as Z3, and Miguel Trevino, or Z40, were first recruited by Ocio Cardenas, the now jailed leader of the Gulf Cartel. The name Zetas originates from the radio code Z used by top military commanders in Mexico. But unlike Zorro, the Mexican outlaw hero who also used the Z alias, Los Zetas steal from everyone, not just the rich. And they certainly don't give much back to the poor, except the corpses of their relatives. They're just known for being different kind of human beings, says Bricker. The number of initial defectors from GAF is thought to be somewhere between 30 and 200, but the exact number is unclear, says Deere. However, the possibility of defection should not have come as a surprise to U.S. trainers. The Mexican state does not pay soldiers enough, Deere says. I am not saying they, the government, have to pay as much as the cartels, but they, security forces, must be paid decently if they aren't going to be susceptible to corruption. The gap's desertion rate of an estimated 25% is high, even by the low standards of Mexico's security forces. Between 2000 and 2005, more than 1,300 of the elite troops defected. So, between 2000 and 2005, okay, that's not important. What I do want to point out, though, for sure, is up here where they said some of the forces, right? Some of the cartel's initial members were elite. So, look, check it out. When they started this group and they were going to start training them over here in the U.S., the entire group, okay, the entire group that they brought over and trained, and when they went back, every single one of them defected. Every single one of them, right? They all turned to, I guess how you say, I mean, they went to the dark side, right? The moment they stepped back into Mexico, they had planned it all along. It was part of the plan all along. The one thing that I'm starting to maybe believe, my opinion, is I think our government knew all along as well, right? I think they knew what they were doing and they knew what was going to come of it. But, what do I know, right? But as always, y'all, I appreciate every single one of y'all who come over here and rock with me. Eyes open out there, homies. Stay safe.